Butterfly Booktubers. Welcome to my October wrap-up, November TBR video. I'm also going to have a bit of a rant in this video. I'm going to be going over what I'm currently reading, what I've read, and my TBR for November, December. So this is going to be kind of a lengthy video. I have about 18 books to go over. I'm not going to do in-depth synopsis on each of them. I'm just going to go through them fairly quickly. So let's get started. First, I'm going to go over the books that I read in October. So this was, I did participate in Bookathon and Dewey's 24-hour readathon. So I kind of combined that. And the books that I read The Girl on the Train. I gave this 2 stars. Wasn't a big fan of this, simply because I did not like how they portrayed the main character, Rachel. But I will say that it was a page turner. But wasn't a big fan of this book. But, you know, some people like it. I've heard mixed reviews of this. And that's all I'll say about this book. And then I read Agatha Christie's Murder on the Orient Express. I gave that 5 stars. I was trying to remember. I gave this 5 stars. I did really enjoy this. This was my first Agatha Christie novel that I read, and I really enjoyed this. I thought this was this writing was brilliant. It was intriguing and very, very good book. And the next one, this was a reread for me. I was trying to read this to get into the series. There's Sanctum and Catacomb, but I only ended up rereading Asylum. I thought it would. I wasn't really interested the first time, so I'm giving this about a 2.5, 3 star. I think it focused too much on the romance between the 2 main characters. I think it kind of strayed from the story. I really wasn't expecting much of a romance. I didn't pick this up for that reason. I wanted it to be a little bit more focused on the storyline. I thought it had a lot of potential, but again, as a reread, it just didn't do it for me, and I'm not sure if I'll continue with the series or if I'll have any desire to read the next 2 books. And then another one I read was Interview with the Vampire, and I enjoyed this book. I really did. It was the first Anne Rice novel that I've read a few others, I think I read one of the beauty books, and that's the story for another time, but I did enjoy this. I gave this a 4, I'm trying to remember, 4 to 4.5. I didn't give it a full 5 stars, simply because, not that it wasn't good. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I thought it was a little slow moving at parts, and, for such a, what you would think would be such a quick read, I literally, there were some parts that were slow that just made me want to put it down. Again, not because it wasn't good, but I felt like it could have been at some parts a little more fast-paced, but when there was action, it really made up for that. But overall, I gave this 4 to 4.5 stars. And my next book I read was Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I fell in love with this series. I think it was very well executed, a very strong main character, female main character, in a male-dominated field. I really enjoyed this. I enjoyed the mystery aspect, and I gave this a 5-star, 5 stars, full 5 stars, because I, quite frankly, I found this book flawless, and I really want to see more from this author, and I really enjoyed it. And the final one in my read books, and I started this in October, but this really should be in my November wrap up, but I'll go ahead since I've already finished it. I read The Kite Runner, and this was very, 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 very difficult to read at times. Not because it wasn't good, but trigger warning for rape. And it's by Khaled Hosseini, and like I said, I really enjoyed this. It was quite the page turner. I think I'll wait and do a more in-depth review of this book, but for now, I definitely gave this 5 out of 5 stars. This book was definitely flawless. And now I'm going to go into the books that I'm currently reading, and that's 3 of them, and then I'm going to go into my anticipated TBR. And I say anticipated because we all know that TBRs can change. But I want to, and there's going to be a little bit of a rant section in this, because one of these books, I have to elaborate on another YouTuber's review of this book. I'm not going to name that YouTuber's name, simply out of respect for that YouTuber. I just feel like I need to voice my opinion and what I felt was wrong with that person's review. But first, we'll just go ahead and get started. I'm currently reading Tiger's Curse. This book series was recommended to me by a good friend, and I am in 150 pages into it, and let me tell you, I have a newfound love for fantasy. For the 150 pages that I've read so far, I just am in love with this book. I love this. I think it's majestic. A very, very original storyline. I love this. Not only that it's a fictional fantasy, but it does offer, it does have a little Indian culture in it, and I love this book. But I want to do a quick rant on a YouTuber's review of this book. And like I said, I'm not going to name that person's name or link the video below, but just out of privacy and respect for that YouTuber, because ultimately I still do value their opinion and respect their opinion, but I found quite a lot wrong with their review. They thought that it was not realistic. They went as far as to say, well, that doesn't happen, that. I mean, hello guys, let's be honest, let's be real. This is a fantasy. Of course, it's not going to be realistic. The whole point of a fantasy is for it to take you into another world. And if you're not a fantasy reader, I can respect that. Not everybody reads fantasy. And my wife is not a big fantasy reader, but I love fantasy. And I mean, you can't go into this with a literal point of view, because like I said, of course, I mean, this is about a tiger a tiger that is actually a prince that was cursed to live as a tiger, and him and his brother Rashawn, and of course, I mean, it would be like going into Harry Potter, saying and bashing that book because there's not really a Hogwarts. Of course, there's not a Hogwarts. It's fantasy. Hence the word you're going. When you read fantasy, it is fictional. So I think it was I think the review was unfair. Just saying, just my opinion. I think that I mean, it's okay if you don't enjoy fantasy books, but if you want more, I think if you want a book with more that's more realistic, you should maybe stick with contemporary or nonfiction. But it just doesn't make sense for a person to read a fantasy book, you know, going into it expecting it to be real and, you know, not liking it because, well, that doesn't really happen. I mean, that just doesn't make sense. It's fantasy, guys. But anyway, that's all for that little rant. So the next thing I'm reading is Turtles All the Way Down. I picked up a signed copy of John Green. I'm currently 170 pages into it. I'm really liking it so far. It's not like any other book I've read. It's kind of like, it's a mental health book with a mystery element, and which I find really intriguing and interesting. So I'm enjoying it so far. And the next book I'm still working on, is Hunting Prince Dracula. I'm 198 pages in. The next is my TBR, I promise. This is I try not to read more than 3 to 4 books at a time. But I'm enjoying this so far. I really love it. Like I said, I'm liking this author more and more. And this is a very a book about a really strong leading female character in a male-dominated field. Trying to find her place. It's she's a Victorian lady. It's set in the 1800s. Also at the same time, it's got a mystery element to it. But it's the sequel to Stalking Jack the Ripper, and I'm really enjoying it. Now on to my October's over. My November, December TBR. I plan on continuing the Tiger's Curse trilogy, so I picked up the entire trilogy: Tiger's Quest, Tiger's Voyage, and Tiger's Destiny. I have not read these yet. Like I said, I'm 150 pages into the first one, but I'm liking it enough that I know I'm going to want to read the entire series. Okay, we got about 8 more books. I know it's a pretty ambitious TBR, but I know I can do it. And this is in no particular order, but I do plan on having these read by the end of the year. And I plan on picking up All Rights Reserved. It's a story where every single thing, word, gesture you make is copyrighted and patented, so it costs you money. And I find that very intriguing. So, can't wait to pick this up. Next one I picked up is When Dimple Met Rishi. I'm, like many people aren't fantasy readers, I'm not an avid contemporary reader, but I do like contemporaries. I read more fantasy, dystopian, but I do like, and I really was interested in this one, and I picked up a signed autograph copy. Can't wait to get into it. It sounds very fluffy. Next one, I've got I got this book for my wife, but I picked up a second copy because I was planning on buddy reading it with her, but I wanted to read this closer to Hanukkah, and once I finish one of the 3 that I'm reading, I may decide to pick this up, or and catch up with her, because I really want to buddy read this with my wife. But it's The Librarian of Auschwitz. It's a true story about Dita Kraus, and she keeps, I believe she keeps reading. I don't know exactly how many books she's hiding from the Nazis for. And my wife's held up for it. And she just kind of keeps reading alive during the midst of the horrific Holocaust. But trigger warning if you're very sensitive to Holocaust books. Another one, intriguing and very intriguing book I picked up is Etiquette and Espionage, and it's the Finishing School series. It's about the school that teaches ladies to be proper, yet spies and assassins at the same time. So I love a good, strong female character book. So I think this is right up my alley. 3 more. And I have been meaning to pick this up for the longest time, and I heard of it that it's a lot like Caraval, but it's The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, and I have never read this, so I don't know a whole lot about it, but I can't wait to get into it. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful book cover, so I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy this. The next one is probably gonna be one of the next ones. I mean, definitely in my TBR, but I'm really cannot wait to get into this one. And that's They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. And this follows a story about 2 people that spend their last day together. It's where you get a call on the day you're gonna die. Or a text message. It's a call, I believe. On the day you're going to die, and there's this app they can use called the Last Friend app, and you can choose to spend your last day with somebody. So this is really intriguing to me, and I'm pretty sure I'll like it. Last book, probably one of my favorite covers, but I've yet to read a book by this author, and I got this and another book by the same author. But I heard she has a very poetic writing style, and I cannot wait to pick this up. It kind of gives me an Alice in Wonderland feel, but kind of like in a different view. But this is Furthermore by Tahira Mafi. I wanted to pick this up before Witchwood came out, because I believe it's the sequel to this, but I'm not really sure. But it's a very beautiful cover. And again, it's called Furthermore by Tahira Mafi. I don't know a whole lot about it. I just heard it's about a land called Furthermore. But I'm kind of getting an Alice in Wonderland type feel. But I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy this. But that basically wraps up my TBR, what I've read for October. I don't believe I'm going to be participating in any readathons anytime soon. I don't really know of any more that are coming up in November or December. If I do find out, I'll probably will. I'm always down for a readathon. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and like I said, I'm sorry about the rant, but I just felt like I had to put that out there because I felt like it was an unfair review of that book because, and like I said, it's okay to not like fantasy books. I don't, think of my wife any differently because she's not a fantasy reader. But at the same time, I know she would, if she decided to pick one up, she would go into it with the view of knowing that it's going to be fictional. I just don't think you pick up a fantasy book expecting it to be realistic, But I just felt like I had to put that out there, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Comments down below, links in the description, and I'll see you guys soon with a new video. Thank you. Bye-bye.